semifinals match between Gaimin Gladiators and Entity. We're getting into the draft right now. Let's take a look. Off the bat here, we're starting to see the bands come out, and an opening with Death Prophet. This hero has been a staple for these upper bracket teams, where it's either picked or banned, I would say, quite regularly. This hero has a really strong laning phase and excellent push. Lina coming out as a ban. This is a bit of a no-brainer. This is a first pick, first ban territory, it seems like, every single time. So so it makes a lot of sense in this case.
10 seconds remain. 5 seconds.
It'll be interesting to see what tactics these two teams will carry out in their draft. Yesterday we saw some interesting drafts from PSG LGD against Team Spirit, utilizing some global presence in the map, and really just seeing which heroes will make it through the ban phase. There's, I think, a really interesting pattern this patch of what will make it through. It seems like if there isn't a Lina in the draft, there's a Bat, and definitely a pattern that is really common to see. Treant being picked up as a second pick.
10 seconds.
Looking at this draft early on, Broodmother is a popular offlaner right now. You can build a lot of auras onto her, and she just gets really strong and hits this mid-game timing where you can push down a lot of towers and take over a map in a pretty good way, and it kind of requires specific draft to counter, and it's kind of become this this hero you can pull out early in the draft, which is quite unique and new, and I think it's quite cool. Treant, an amazing laner. I've talked about this hero quite a bit in the past casts coming into the draft. He's just never feels bad really in a team. His lockdown, his BKB piercing, he has a global heal to save people around the map. He has the best level 1 right click in the game, and he can get some pesky aggressive wards down with his passive, where he can move through trees. So I think he's just an amazing hero right now, probably even a little too strong. And we see that Gaimin Gladiators go for a rebuttal with Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain we have not seen a lot in the current meta, so I'm really excited by this. This is something fresh, something new. It's going to be interesting where they lane this. The obvious traditional path for this hero is mid, but it'll be interesting to see if they have a plan for it that's more specific than that. Seeing the ban set come out, we see Slark and Disruptor being removed by Gaimin Gladiators. These are, you know, I think heroes that are going to really disrupt the things that they want to do at this stage in the game. Disruptor is really effective at locking down both of these heroes, and the Slark ban is a little curious to me. It'd be interesting to see how it clicks together with the rest of the draft, if it will make sense. And with Entity's bans, we see Silencer and Enchantress come out. Silencer, an incredibly strong laner right now. Super effective at harassment in lane, but also de-pushing waves. And a great team fighter with a spectacular ultimate, so it makes a lot of sense to remove from the draft if you can't pick it yourself. And Enchantress being removed as well, another strong laner that can really, in some cases, just completely win the laning stage for you. So we see Enigma come out as the next ban for Gaimin Gladiators. This is a strong offlaner that we're seeing picked quite a bit. Can also be run in the 4 position, in some greedy cases even a 5, and the hero has a lot of push, has amazing team fight, and naturally wants to build like auras and things like that, and so it's a good hero to get out of the pool. Entity going for the Hublik ban and the Rubik pickup. Rubik, another hero that is just spiked immensely in popularity lately. This hero used to be considered really only playable as a position 4, or maybe in like a very narrow case like a position 2, but lately you can play the hero as a position 5 pretty effectively, just with the way the meta has shifted around, and neutral items being balanced the way they are. The hero reaches a point where he used to need so much more gold to be effective, and now you don't need it as much. His level 1 is, you have to be a little careful with his W, but it's otherwise very effective. Landing stage. Shadow Demon coming out from Gaimin Gladiators. This is shaping up to be a really interesting draft. These are two heroes with Queen of Pain and Shadow Demon that we just don't see a ton of, and that's super exciting to see. Shadow Demon, obviously, the main stay of his kit is the save with his disruption, and I think this is really, really important, especially drafting against a Bat Rider. This can really mess up that single target initiation and create situations where Bat Rider has to be really careful with who he's going to go on, or else he's going to be stuck initiating onto nobody. And the bonus with the slow to lock down that Bat Rider, I think is really effective. We see Clockwork come out as the next pick. This is really interesting, the way this Gaimin Gladiators draft is coming together. We're starting to see save, push, team fight, and initiation now with the Clockwork. We're seeing all the kind of pieces of the puzzle come together in a way that they have all the bits that they need for an effective team fight. The biggest part that's missing is just some of that right-click damage. So we'll be looking for a carry to come out as one of Gaimin Gladiators' last picks. And we see Naga being picked up by Entity. Naga is an amazing hero to go up against Broodmother. You can really easily get rid of all those little spiders, and the sleep is really good for catching Queen of Pain, who is sometimes a really slippery hero to catch. You can also save folks from Clockwork initiation. You can immediately disrupt that with the song, so it's effective for a retreat. So I think it's a solid pickup here by Entity to go for the Naga Siren. We'll see how it can lane. The hero takes up a lot of space on the map, so it does restrict the draft, but I think we'll see how they pull it together. Next up, lines of bans. We see Darkseer being banned by Gaimin Gladiators and Pudge being banned by Entity. I think Pudge is interesting here because I think what's really missing right now by Gaimin Gladiators is kind of a carry that wants to fight in the front line. Somebody who can really get in the face of the enemy and just brawl with them. I could see maybe a Lifestealer, maybe a Chaos Knight kind of deal, something like that. And they go for their final ban as a Beastmaster, because that's really what Entity is going to be looking for right now, is a kind of off-laner that has that push. And they banned Sniper as their final ban. Entity, and so we're looking for Gaimin Gladiators to find a carry, and Entity to have an offlaner. I think Entity's gap right now is they have a bit of initiation, they have a bit of damage, they have a bit of team fight, but they don't have a lot of follow through. They need this kind of this hero that's going to ensure that the fight goes on long enough and stays controlled enough. So somebody can really provide that for them. We see Nature's Prophet come out as the last pick for Gaimin Gladiators. This hero is really spiked in popularity also. Right clickers that have really high base damage have become really popular, and Nature's Prophet has great right click damage, especially level 1. And his global presence on the map is super annoying, and he can always keep lanes pushed out, and I think it's a solid pickup for them here. I expected them to go with something a little bit more tanky, but Clockwork is actually quite naturally bulky, and Broodmother's going to build a bunch of auras to make him even more so. And so I see this working out. It's a slightly different play here, where he can play a little bit more independently because he's going to be going around the map and shoving out waves, and then coming into team fight after the other 4 have smoked together and hopefully found that initiation with clockwork. So that's exciting to see. Let's see what entity picks up here. Really using the rest of that reserve time. It's interesting to see how much time they're using here to really try to think through it. If I were drafting for them, I would start thinking about, here we go, Pango. Okay, I was gonna say something in the the Underlord Tide Pango arena, something that is going to provide just that annoying team fight. But I really like Pango here, because not only is it some extra damage that your offlaners don't maybe wouldn't bring, but also that this really useful team fight ultimate that is very effective for securing Roche. I would have also maybe suggested like a Primal Beast, somebody who can just run into a fight, not die, and cause problems. So exciting stuff to see here. We're seeing this lineup by entity. I would give Gaimin Gladiators, I think, a slight advantage, just because I think their pieces are a little bit more easy to execute. That being said, it's going to rest on this clockwork hitting some hooks, and the team, Tofu getting the right saves for the counter initiation. For Entity, we're going to be looking out for ways they create space for this Naga Siren to be able to farm, and if Stormstormer can find that perfect initiation every fight, it's going to really depend on finding that one person that's slightly out of range or out of position that's going to turn the entire team fight on its side. And so I think we have a lot of really exciting things to look forward to in this match, where I think the drafts are virtually even. I would maybe just give Gladiators just an edge, like I said, just because I think it's easier to play. They shove out their waves, they TP around, and just are naturally annoying. But if this Naga reaches their timing, if they can secure enough farm and they find the right initiation, I could see Entity really running away with the game. Alrighty, both teams immediately smoking up and going for early game positioning to try to find the advantage. I don't know if we'll see a level 1 fight here. We're seeing the voice lines just spamming out there, but early mirrored wards here, and some posturing by the Broodmother. I think this is quite cool to get a position here where they can really secure. This is really an annoying place to fight here. I don't think they could really easily get rid of her, and she has an amazing Overwatch position about what's going to be happening. So everyone's pausing. Let's take a quick look at the items. We see Treant taking boots early. I really like this build. When you see Treant with boots, it means they're going to fight. And I really like seeing that. Not a lot of regen, but who knows? Some mangoes on the Pango, and pretty standard stuff by the rest of folks. Queen of Pain going for an early mantle with queued up bottle. Queen of Pain, one of the signature heroes of Quinn, so this is going to be a treat to watch. We're going to really pay attention to this mid lane and watch it there. Not a ton of other surprising things, I would say. Pretty normal. And everyone's saying that we're gonna go, so let's keep watching this area here with this Broodmother. I think this is going to be. I don't think they're gonna go for a fight. I mean, who knows? It can always kind of devolve that way, but I think this extra information could open up something.
30 seconds to battle.
Both these teams scouting out potential opportunities for runes. 15 seconds. Bit of trade with little treants and illusions. Getting information, and it looks like Gaimin Gladiators will be able to secure this extra river rune. Putting them slightly in the advantage here. Capturing 3 runes in this early game, so slight net worth advantage. It was a little difficult to fight that one, and like I said, this mid matchup is going to be really where I'm going to be spending I think quite a bit of time, because we're going to see, I think, a lot of really interesting micro here between these two players. But of course the other lanes are also active. A lot of early harassment coming out onto the Queen of Pain here. Getting all these napalm stacks, this is super annoying to get. But let's take a look up here. We're seeing an early disruption onto Fishman. And I think we'll see this lane be somewhat passive until a level spike happens, probably around level 3. And then we'll see some movement up here. In the meantime, mid, Quinn just trying to stay a little bit full, but really stacking up those stacks. It's going to be potentially quite dangerous. Toby receiving a lot of harassment from this Nature's Prophet and this annoying right click with the Blightstone. It's never fun. And we see the Stormstormer on the Batrider really pushing in the wave here, and some extra harassment coming out from Quinn. I have no idea how this man stays so full on HP. He's got 8 stacks on him. This is bad news bears. 9 stacks, and the man stays up. We have a courier going down by Tofu, and this might be first blood right here with the Broodmother getting really low. Doesn't actually seem so, but both Tofu and Brood kind of run low on regen here, whereas Naga and Rubik are feeling kind of safe. We might see a burst play here too. Like I said, around level 3, I think we're going to see a level spike where something will happen. Looking at bottom, again, this is a naturally contested lane. Seems relatively even in terms of harassment. We did see a courier snipe, but nothing too crazy. Looking at mid, both looking quite healthy. Let's look at the last hits and denies here. We'll see this kind of this tie between the Nature's Prophet and the Naga. It's extremely close, but Quinn is struggling a little bit. You know, looking at this here. Stormstormer is a few last hits ahead, and this is going to mean he's going to hit his level 4 probably slightly sooner, and that can make all the difference in a matchup like this that's really running on a knife's edge. Stormstormer getting really low here, tanking Shadow Strike hits, creep hits, and some extra right clits. Quinn's to full health. I don't know how the man does it, but Stormstormer has to retreat a little bit to go the long walk for the rune to refill his bottle. Some pull shenanigans up here at top, and been difficult when you're support to make that call. You know, you block these camps, you unblock it. It's like a whole mini game within the game. As a support player, I love paying attention to those moments, but not the most exciting viewing experience. Over here, we see a bit of a contest for this rune, and the treant will say, you know what, I'll secure the camp instead. Bit of a rotation here by Tofu to mid. Less around missing first blood. It would be around that level 4 mark. But it's an even trade. I mean, first blood goes the way of Watson, but we do see treant fall in the offlane. I missed both of them, and that's a testament to my poor but improving observer skills. And we see an aggressive play right now by Quinn, taking a lot of poke damage onto this Bat Rider, who is out of mana and out of health. Frankly, I think Quinn is just waiting for enough mana to just make the play. You know, looking at it, the stick is a really smart early build up against the bat. I mean, it seems so obvious, but you know, sometimes people just go on autopilot. You know, they, especially in these moments where you know, tensions are higher up on the main stage. Tofu making a move potentially mid with Fishman soaking XP while the Bat Rider isn't there. We see the pings come out. We might see a play here. We see the disruption and all sorts of right clicks, but the rotation is coming back in with the Bat Rider, coming back in with full health and ready to go. Gaimin Gladiators has to retreat back up to their own high ground across the river. So this Naga is level 5 and coasting along. Brood a little bit behind, but I would say relatively even here. Slight no with advantage to Gaimin Gladiators. I think that's mainly because of this Nature's Prophet just entering the stratosphere, pushing out this wave, and not a whole lot that Toby can do here. You know, you can harass a little bit and D-push, but you're just gonna get got on. So let's switch this to net worth. And I think the next timing we're going to be looking for is this moment when we see the mids hit level 6. Bat Rider just about there, had to retreat to the jungle to do a bit of farming over here. Going to get rid of these stacks that will have level 6 in no time, and then we're going to see a fight break out. We're going to see potentially a gank or a timing with the 8-minute rune where they'll go make a play. So we'll be waiting on that moment to happen, and in the meantime the supports are going to just try to secure some vision here. We have Celery just running up the jungle of the Dire base, and might actually get got here because I don't think he expected there to be 2 supports, and I think he's done because Stormstormer has shown up, and the uphill mischance saves his life. Never mind, he's gonna live, but Quinn is right there to give the consolation prize. So a bit of an awkward play. Starts with Tofu. I'm sorry, Celery going into the Dire jungle and getting caught out, causing the rotation from the Bat Rider. And then when Quap shows up, it kind of becomes, I think, a better trade for Gaimin Gladiators. So we see Ace right now getting a little bit controlled, and by a little bit I mean a lot. The man is dead. The rotation by Stormstormer up here really ensured that he didn't have any opportunity to run into the jungle or do any kind of maneuvers that Brood Mothers like to do. See a fortification coming out, defending the towers. Gaimin Gladiators positioning very aggressively under the tier 1 tower. And a deep fight here behind the tier 2s. Quinn with a haster just running at Stormstormer, and he's going to drop the man. An extra initiation by Tofu with the disruption. Fishman immediately trying to TP. It's probably, is it going to be enough? It is enough, and that's a 2-for-0 trade and immense momentum coming into this middle tower. I don't think Entity was ready to really handle that. We had Pangolier with his ultimate ready to go at bottom. Not a whole lot going on. Maybe it was some miscommunication about what was actually happening, but I think if he shows up with his ultimate, I think that fight goes differently. So interesting developments here. 3k net worth lead at 9 minutes. This is quite notable. We see this top wave just really being shoved in by this brood. This bottom lane being periodically shoved in by this Nature's Prophet, and a lot of pressure mid by all the other heroes. So Gaimin Gladiators draft right now hitting this early game timing where they can find the space on the map and they can find these opportunities to really put a lot of pressure. Entity smoking up on this bat, just trying to farm. That's how far behind he is. Once we see the Boots of Travel come out with this, we'll be able to match that Nature's Prophet rotation around the map. And I think we'll see Stormstormer really try to make some plays with his supports to try to get some of these pickoffs for these side lanes, these people that are just shoving in the lanes constantly, like Ace and the Nature's Prophet. So right now, we're looking mainly at mid, seeing Quinn queuing up the Kaya, the DD rune in the bottle. I think he wants to use it. I think he's saying, come on guys, I got my ult, I got a DD, let's go. And so they smoke. They're headed into the dire jungle here at top, trying to find this Naga Siren. That would be the real prize, but can they find them? It's unsure yet. Smoke doesn't break, they know it's an illusion. And it looks like they just give up the smoke and would much rather push the tower. This tower's almost back up to full health thanks to this Treant Protector just healing it up. And now we're seeing a hook shot straight into Stormstormer down here at bottom, and a rebuttal with the Pango, but blown back by the screen. Pango rolling around and rolling out. This is not the fight he wanted to take. Again, kind of a bit of an awkward situation where I think Entity thought surely not everyone's here, and everyone was there. Great hook by Celery. I missed it there, but I heard it and immediately knew where to look, and before I knew it, Batrider was just controlled and dead. So, really interesting development. We're seeing these three heroes, Clock, Quap, and the Shadow Demon playing together as three to create this space on the side lane, shoving in this mid lane. How is Naga's timing doing? Working her way. She has her Yasha, and she's working on this Mantis style. I think this will be a timing where we really will see her try to go for that play with the team and try to get some of that mid-game momentum back and stabilize things. The Batrider, right now, it's interesting with the Magic Wand queued up. I guess it's just trying to utilize the net worth that's there, but main item is BKB that's queued up. This is going to be the power spike for Stormstormer. This opportunity to really, and I've missed the kill again, theory crafting items and movements, but it looked like Celery died quite deep here, which aligns with quite a bit with what Gaimin Gladiators is trying to do. We see Entity smoke up 3 Fishman, Katomi, and Toby, going for this hunt for the big spider. They see her, and it's the instant initiation with the Stone of Link and the Rolling Thunder. I don't think the spider's going to get out of this. It is a lot of damage coming in quick by all 4 heroes, and the counterplay to mid. Quinn's has been there this whole time, right-clicking, saying, you know what, you get my spider, but I'm going to get your tower. This tower being healed up by the living armor, and Watson rotating in with the Naga illusions to depush everything. The tower will stand, and the net worth differential will shrink a little bit. So we see a little bit of a rebuttal here from Entity, trying to take back part of the map. And again, following this Batrider, this BKB timing I think is going to be really important for when they choose to take a fight. It's going to give them an opportunity to go on Quinn, go deep into that back line, and try to extract the targets that they want to get. So Ace back up and already starting to build those auras together that I mentioned during the draft. These are going to be another power spike moment for Gaimin Gladiators whenever they just want to group up. Use these auras to just run over the towers. So Quinn over here pushing deep, and we see a hook come out, but it seems to be an instant disengage. I'm not sure if this is a miscommunication or what's happening here, but maybe the fight ends up happening regardless. The Rolling Thunder is coming out, but the Brood is here. Quinn, not a ton of mana to work with, but enough to get off an ultimate, and the Clockwork will fall. It seems they're going to fully embrace that retreat. Again, seemed kind of a miscommunication here of like, are we fighting? Are we not fighting? Okay, we have the numbers, let's fight. The fight's awkward. Sometimes these moments happen, but I think Quinn felt strong in the moment, but didn't see the opening, and I think that was the big thing missing. So we see both teams kind of reset. We see the Mjolnir will be the next item for the Nature's Prophet. TPing top. We see the initiation onto Quinn, but the counter initiation onto Stormstormer, and Quinn will fall, but so will the Bat. A trade of the mids here. I think the big notable thing that happened here is the Demonic Purge slowed the Bat Rider, which caused the initiation to have kind of not a lot of effect. Basically just slowed the Quap down. Didn't actually do a whole lot of anything. An interesting note of this is it pierces spell immunity, so even when the Bat has BKB and jumps in and ults somebody, we can still see the slow tick out onto the Bat Rider. So it's not a stun or anything, but it does negate some of that aggression of that power spike that we'll be seeing. So both heroes back up, 3k net worth differential, 15 minutes in. All the tier 1 mid towers and bottom lane towers are up, with only that dire tier 1 top having fallen from the Brood. So I think we're going to be looking for this power spike to hit. We have the BKB queued up by the Quap, and the Mjolnir almost ready for the Nature's Prophet. There it is. BKB queued up as well. Guardian Greaves on the Brood Mother. So auras and items coming online. We have the Diffusal Blade ready to go on the Pangolier, and a Blink Dagger queued up that's going to be really effective in team fights for reaching those backline right clickers and really throwing them off. Naga has her Manta. This is a big boon to her farming ability and team fight ability, and we have the Orchid queued up next. This is a great item to counter the Quap, but also to team fight here. We have a smoke by Gaimin Gladiators going into the dire jungle. Smoke immediately breaks, and the hookshot is out onto the Rubik. The initiation happening, and the Rolling Thunder is a counter initiation. Rubik will fall, and the Rolling Thunder will continue to bounce onto this Clockwork. He might be dead here, but he's holding on because of the R's. Quinn jumping in, slowing down this tree, and he's just going to right-click him to death. The Bat is here, but is there any follow-up? Tree and the Naga seem to gotta get a right-click. Sorry, people dying everywhere. To recap, the Nature's Prophet got killed by Watson here at bottom. We'll have to look at that again in a moment. And the clock seemed to get caught up here. Or no, I'm sorry, the treant got caught up here. Okay, so a bit of a chaotic fight, really split across the map. I didn't even realize that the Nature's Prophet was not there, having their own separate fight. It was a lot of counter initiation. This game is really fun to watch in this way, in that the spell usage order is incredibly important, and Rubik is a really cool pick in this game for that reason, because he can kind of disrupt that stack again, you know. So it's Blicky in initiation from the Bat, and then this counter initiation from the Shadow Demon, and so on and so forth. Gaimin Gladiators going for this Roche push. They have the R's on the Brood Mother, and they're just gunning for it, and it's dropping quick. I don't think Entity were ready for this play to happen. The net worth differential chipping away. It was at 1k just a moment ago. Now it's at 2. But this is Entity. Basically, this Naga really just coming online to be able to shove out so many lanes and farm with her illusions all at once to kind of recover some of that lost net worth from the early game. Quinn, now with this this Aegis on the Quap, I think we're going to see an Aegis fight when she gets her BKB. I think that's what we're going to be waiting on. Because with that BKB, you can take an aggressive fight, die, use your BKB after most other people have used it, and you are incredibly strong. It's an amazing power spike, and I could see them really just waiting to farm that up, which we'll have soon. TP with the Pango, rotating to top. We see a lot of sparring going on here with the Brood and the Bat, but no kills coming out. Ace being just ultra annoying up here with the Execute up for this extra bit of control. And just really being a nuisance, taking over so much of this dire jungle. Radiant positioning here mid, pushing it out, and the counter TPs coming in from Dire. We see a bit of a deep push from all parties, and a really fast disengagement, I would say. As soon as they see the TPs come in, the Radiant crew, they just run straight into the jungle and start farming it. Really reading that if you're here, I'm going to go up there. And your TP is on cooldown, so it's a bit more awkward for you than it is for me. Which is kind of cool. It's an interesting way to play the game, and I like how fast they did it. That's really a cool read. Entity responding, saying, whatever, you farm our jungle, we'll farm yours. With all these illusions and Pangos running into the Radiant jungle. And we see a bit of a counterplay here. Quap moving in to this section of the map, initiating onto Toby. A bunch of right clicks coming out, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We still have a tree hidden in the trees, and I think Quinn has an idea that he's there, but no vision yet. And while it's visible, Tofu might have to save himself. I think he's going to be toast, but the rolling thunder just rolls right over him. But it is enough in the end because the Naga is there and he right clicks him down. So some weird timing, trying to find the tree, and then it gives enough timing for Entity to show up, and Stormstormer getting caught out and slowed and right-clicked by this Nature's Prophet, just getting done. It's the annoying bit about playing with the Nature's Prophet and the other team. Hook coming out onto the Rubik here. He's oddly tanky, but he's still going to fall. Even after all that burst damage. I think we're finally going to see this tier 1 tower drop right here. Yeah, when you're up against the Nature's Prophet, you're just going to have these moments when the hero just shows up when you think you have a fair fight. Speaking of fair fight, this clock is getting got on, but it doesn't matter because the tree is just falling so fast to the spiders. This amount of damage coming out from all these spiderlings is really immense. And Entity kind of unable to respond to this this aggression from Gaimin Gladiators, this positioning with the Aegis. Gaimin Gladiators has the tools they need to take the fight, and Entity can't seem to find it. You know, they haven't been able to group. Entity has been able to play, or Gaimin Gladiators has been able to play around the map, find those pickoffs, and then force a fight with bad numbers. And I gotta say, I think Gaimin Gladiators has just done a really fantastic job so far of disengaging. They don't stay in an area too long, or at least longer than they have to. They farm the camp, they steal what they do, they place the ward, and then they leave. And I think that's really quite notable. Going into this next the next 10 minutes, I think we gotta look at the item timings. We have these BKBs, but they haven't been used yet. We have this Orchid, but we haven't seen anything about it. This Heart is going to be huge. Watson needs to stay alive long enough in these fights that he can just make his illusions just super annoying and difficult to get rid of. And if they can find this window, I think they could stop the bleeding. But right now, as it stands, we got Spiderlings, Treants, just shoving down the tier 2 tower, and there's not a whole lot Entity can do here. Disruption coming out from Tofu. It won't actually translate into anything noteworthy. We see a lot of Entity really focusing on this Dire tier 2, just kind of getting chipped down, but they're trying to control this part of the map. We see a lot of wards here, a lot of sentries going down this whole line. You can see by this pattern here that they really just want to create this kind of block. They want to control this whole section of the map, this kind of area where they can dictate the movements, which is a bit awkward because it's the opposite side of the map from Roche. But it is what I talked about in the very beginning when we were talking about the draft, of finding that farm for the Naga, and this is part of that, of creating that farming pattern that they can control. And it is more fluid to farm this way, I think, than that way. So it makes sense right now. They don't actually care that much about Roche. I mean, of course they want it, they're going to contest it, but what matters right now is getting farm onto the Naga, and that's what they're really focusing on. We have the Heart ready to go, and it's coming out on the corridor right now, and I think we're going to see a smoke coming up really soon. Blink Dagger ready to go on the Treant Protector, this opportunity to really jump into the back line and cause massive disruption. This could be the team fight next that Entity are looking for. Smoke coming up, Rolling Thunder being started. Where are we going to see this fight happen? The Shadow Demon just getting got on, the Scream coming out, but it's not a lot of damage. The BKB used on the Quap, the initiation by the Clockwork, and the defensive song being used. Right clicks coming out, and this this Nature's Prophet is just doing so much damage, dropping all of the supports. Buyback's coming down, Rubik TPing in, but all of Dire is incredibly low. They're dropping left and right. Watson has to run away. Manta Styles to try to break it, and it is just so much damage. It is destruction, and you may get the Aegis, you may get a one kill here, but you gave your whole life for that. There was just not a lot they could do with the BKB timings. The song just didn't do anything. There was just no moment whenever enough people were asleep to make any kind of difference. The song almost did nothing, I would say. And now we're seeing this high ground being broken to 25 minutes, 14k net worth differential, and Gaimin Gladiators just running away with it. They had a plan with this draft of just shoving in the side lanes, creating space, and running around as 3 until it was time to group. Rolling Thunder coming out, blinking onto this Clockwork, causing massive disruption, but the counter Scream, it's going to cause the Brood to fall. Pango will trade for his life. A big duel happening right now between the Naga and the Nature's Prophet, but it's going to end in the racks falling and Gaimin Gladiators retreating with a trade of their offlaners. It's not the fight you want to take, but I guess you're happy with it. Not having to spend any more buybacks and still having your ranged racks. So it's a fight you'll take, I guess. Entity really needs to find this opportunity to get the fight they wanted. That last fight, that was that okay? It was an 8-second BKB on the Quap, and it was the 9-second BKB on the Nature's Prophet. That fight is always going to be difficult. It's always going to be difficult to win. So I'm not that shocked that the fight went the way it did. Going for a Butterfly next on Watson. Really just going to be a lot of damage for these illusions, but also a lot of survivability, effective HP being added onto this Naga. We don't see an MKB or any kind of evasion piercing items so far built by the Radiant squad, so it might give them enough of an advantage that they can have a window where this Naga becomes unkillable and can actually take over the fight. We see an entire 5-man smoke by Entity moving towards the mid. Who are they going to find? Smoke breaks. They throw the net out onto the Brood. Rolling Thunder coming out. Isn't enough damage to counter Scream to really just knock everyone back. Bat jumps in, but there's no target. The hook comes out, and you may have a song, but everyone's BKB'd. It doesn't really matter. Pulling in this Nature's Prophet deep into the line, that's not really what you want, because he's going to right-click your supports. Pango coming in. The massive ultimate by the Treant Protector. The Brood still lives. He's going to fall here, I believe, but the sustain by the squad is really there. Rubik falling on the sidelines by Quinn, blinking in. I think Celery's going to live. He's going to actually fall. There's not enough actual follow-up there. And the fight still continues. The Nature's Prophet sparring with this Treant, living on a prayer over here. And, you know, I think that was the fight. This is what Entity has to do. They have to take these fights where you're just trading 1 for 2 or 2 for 2 just to stabilize. You know, I think that was really amazing use of skills. They found the targets they wanted. Bat was kind of out of position there, but kind of found the consolation prize. I think the hero of that fight was Tree and Protector. This overgrowth, man, it caused so much chaos in that fight and gave them enough time for Watson to start throwing out the right clicks. All that being said, this Nature's Prophet is just getting stronger, and he didn't feel weak that last fight. In fact, he was almost at full health the entire time. This Assault Cuirass, another aura that's added to this list that they're having here. When they're all lined up together with the Guardian Greaves as well, they're hard to kill, this Gaimin Gladiators squad. The Ags coming out on the Pango, and with the Force Staff queued up. I think just trying to find either the saves or the ways they can move their bat. Massive initiation and blowing up the Rubik before I could even recognize what was happening, and the scream coming out to just pick off the tree. Did he even see him there? I don't know. BKB's coming out from the bat. He's flying to high ground. Is there anywhere safe? No, because there's a spider up there. That feels bad. I think he wanted a TP up there. Pango just going for the emergency TP over here. Yeah, fight just went sideways. I didn't see this ward here. I think they just didn't know it was there, because once Celery hit the hook, the entire fight just fell apart. Speaking of Celery and his hooks, they've been pretty good this game. I haven't seen a missed hook, and the ones he's hit have been just really spot on. Been really impressed by that. So Roshan falls, second one. I didn't see who got the shard, but Nature's Prophet with the Aegis this time. I think it makes sense at this stage of the game. I think it's Quap that got the shard. Makes your silence a blink, which is really good. I would say it's one of my favorite shards in the game. It makes your blink just awesome. It sounds great, but it's really effective too. Okay, so 20k net worth differential, and Gaimin Gladiators pushing into this top wave. How will Entity defend this? We have a Hex up on the Naga now, and a Blink on the Bat Rider. We've had that, but it's been a while since Bats had a new item, and there was a gem on the bat last fight. That's what happened. We lost. The gem is now on the Clockwork. So that was something I missed. But yeah, I mean that's a big deal, especially with the Naga. Like Naga's starting to reach that 6-slot territory, but still a ways to go. And especially this late in the game when you're on the back foot, you don't want that. Okay, so Entity smoking up, understanding they have to take some part of their jungle back. They have to get some more opportunities for gold. We see the northern dire jungle occupied entirely by this smoke crew, and the Entity, the Gaimin Gladiators crew, all at the bottom, pushing in this lane. We have this massive wraparound going all the way down the river, looking for the opening. Are they going to find it? We see an instant blink onto the Shadow Demon, being bursted down with the Rolling Thunder. He's stuck. It's not going to be enough. Quap with a massive amount of right-click damage. This Pango can't do anything. He's just screamed. What a misplay. And Naga Siren going for the instant ultimate and TP out. Man, that feels bad. They had the jump, but there was nothing the Pango could do. He was stuck right here, constantly jumping around. Rubik not making it out. I guess he tried to TP and couldn't do it. This is going to translate directly into this tower falling. I don't think there's anything the Entity can do about it. What a rough turn of luck for that Pango. Just bouncing around chaotically with nothing, nothing to show for it. That's rough. And the push coming out from Gaimin Gladiators here, gonna clean up that mid racks probably right here. The push is immense. A bit of a counterplay right here. Age is still up on this Nature's Prophet, and not a whole lot of fear on this backline. But the initiation by the Pango, he's not stuck this time, but don't know where Quap went. He jumped around somewhere. Man, Entity's heroes out really far. Bat, just nothing he can do. Toby getting controlled back here. He jumps back a little bit. The screen lifts, and we see buybacks coming out from the Bat, but it's not going to be enough because your man, the Pango, is dead. Rubik, again, dying somewhere off screen, being found. Buybacks happening. Can Entity pull together some kind of defense? Because Gaimin Gladiators still has the Aegis. It's up for another minute, and they're feeling good. You just used all your skills and got nothing. In fact, you died and had to pay money to be here. Gaimin Gladiators feeling strong right now. We see a massive ultimate by this Treant, but where is the follow-up? He gets blown up, and a trapped song. There's nothing you can do. GG is called. Entity can't make it happen game one, and Gaimin Gladiators turn up the heat in a big way for an impressive victory. What a fun game. I really enjoyed that. That was you could just see the amount of precision with that draft. You could see the way in which Entity came into that game and understood. Gaimin Gladiators. Their icons look so similar, man. And they came into that game with a plan on and understood how they want to execute it, and they executed beautifully. I was really impressed by it. We'll be back for game number 2 of Entity versus